been good. It's been quiet the last 2-3 weeks. Though I took a little vacation down in Florida. Got a little fishing in. Spent Thanksgiving with some family, and but it was fun to look back and reflect a little bit on everything, and what a special season it was, and which I hope everybody does. It's pretty cool what happened, and you got to savor these things. So, but it's been a good month. It's good to catch your breath. I'm not going to lie about that.
Bruce, have you had any discussions with the club on changing your contract or an extension?
Oh no. I'm under contract. No. I haven't had any discussion. No.
Bruce, were you able to have a conversation with Jim Whalen after he got in?
You know what? I missed him. He went back and just talked to Tony, and he said that he's already flown back. So I'm disappointed I missed him. I'm staying at home. I haven't been hanging around here all day. So, but I'll find a way to get a hold of him. That's pretty cool.
He's pretty thrilled when.
I was thrilled for him. Absolutely thrilled, and he's done a lot for the game, and a tremendous job he did managing, and so it's good to see him getting rewarded like this. And special day, I'm sure, for him. I couldn't even imagine how he felt. So I'll catch up with him at some point.
Look at the club. What do you think you guys need to repeat?
Well, first of all, I love what we have here right now, as far as not guys not being free agents. The core guys that we have, particularly you look on the positions side, it's nice to have all these guys coming back. We're missing. We'll have some that are free agents. Mitch Garver, that's not going to be easy to replace. Not that that can't happen, but he's a free agent. Jankowski, Grossman, those guys did a tremendous job for us. You look at what we went through with the injuries, and they played a huge part in our success. I don't want to leave anybody out there. And on the pitching side, you look at even somebody like Will Smith. He played a big role in helping us get to where we got there. So I think if you look at our club, I think it's fair to say we're looking at a starter. See if we get a starter there, a pen and arm in the pen, to help out there. And we're looking at our best options as far as maybe a bat. So these are things that we're talking about now.
What about Evan Carter convinced you that the postseason moments wouldn't be too big for such a game?
Yeah, I said this a few times. It started in spring training. I got a chance to play this kid a lot and just see the makeup of Evan and the confidence, the calmness that he has, even keel. He's got even presence you like, especially from a young player. And so that's where it started. Then when we brought him up, we hit him ninth, and then I put him in a 3-hole. That didn't affect him. Put him in a 5-hole. Nothing seemed to bother him, and he just plays the game for the love of it. That's a beautiful thing, and so that's why I think he doesn't feel pressure. He's enjoying himself out there playing the game, and so I didn't think he'd be affected by the postseason. Now, he might have been a little bit more than what he showed, but I can tell you, it sure wasn't any signs that this guy had any nerves going on.
That conversations we've had with CY and with Mike Maddox about the toll that the extra month takes on pitchers, and how you guys potentially try and deal with that?
Yeah, we have talked about how important it is for us to take care of our pitching staff, our starters and relievers, the workload. There's always a little adjustment, I think, when you go deep in the postseason, end up playing into November, starting out in spring training. But at the same time, you got to make sure they're ready to start the season too. So there's a fine line there. but during the season, pick your spots, when to let them go, when to get them out early, things like that, where you can maybe help them out. So yeah, we've had discussions about it.
You've had this experience. Does it have an impact on pitchers?
I don't think as much as people think. I don't. And today's game is a little bit different. You know, my previous experience, those guys were logging over 200 innings. You know, we didn't have anybody really come close to that. Well, Dane, but so a little bit different. But they trained a little bit different too. So it's all about adjusting to where they're at. And I think it's fair to say, guys are getting a little bit older. You need to keep a little bit more of a watchful eye on them. To get as many starts as you can from them. Maybe pick a spot where you skip them, things like that.
Off of Evan's question, going back to the Giants, do you feel that all the extra playoff innings over the course of the years had an impact on shortening the careers of Lincecum, King, and Bumgarner?
I think they had pretty good careers. I do. I don't know how you answer that question. Both of them had really nice careers. I think you look at some guys who did a lot before their time. There's a ton of pitchers that pitched for 20 years, and so that's a tough question to answer. But I will say they did carry a lot of the workload. There's no doubt about that. But I think looking back, we picked our spots where we could take care of them too. But that was a time when you let pitchers go a little bit more than you do now. The game has changed a little bit.
You like the idea of having a DH that rotates, that's not just a bat, that you've got some versatility and utility there.
I think you look at your club to see what makes sense. I mean, if you have an impact bat and doesn't play position, I'm good with that. I mean, you look at whether it's David Ortiz, somebody like that, sure, those are game changers. But if not, I think it's good to have a guy in there and you can rotate around and you give everybody a break. So it's not a bad thing if you don't have that typical DH that some teams have.
Goes back to Carter. Where's his ideal spot?
I think you could have 3 or 4 spots, to be honest.
A lot of people have said leadoff.
Yeah, I mean, leadoff could be a spot. Right now, it's not a spot, but yeah, I think he would be a good leadoff hitter. I think he'd be a good 2-hole hitter. He's not going to hit the 2-hole right now. We put him in 3, we put him in 5, we even had him hit cleanup. So we covered 4 there, those 4, and I don't know where you couldn't hit him. We hit him 9th, and that was nice how he turned over the lineup and got to the top of our order. So a guy like that, his discipline and his ability, to get the barrel on the ball and hit the way he does, he fits anywhere in your lineup. You can adjust to the pitcher that you're facing that day.
I'd like to point out that I didn't ask the first lineup related question.
I was a little stunned too.
There's a few new managers coming this season. Do you think it's important for them to understand about making decisions on the art form of offense and versus weighing that with the information?
Yeah. Well, I think you take it all in. Your information. I mean, we're all getting that. We get it, and we use it. But you use your eyes. You look at how the players are playing, and what comes with that is your instincts. They could play a part on what you feel, and I think that's an important part for a manager. I do, and the more reps you get doing it, the easier it gets. I think. I mean, it's easier now in our game to look and question a move more than ever because you get the data. You say, well, he's hitting this off this guy, or that matchup wasn't good, whatever. So it is probably a little bit more difficult. And but with that said, you know, we're dealing with human beings, and some things don't show up on a spreadsheet. You know, how they're feeling that day, how they're swinging that week, how they're throwing the ball, things like that. So all that has to come into play.
Expansion has been a hot topic throughout the league for the last few years, and with it, there's rumors that Nashville could be a landing spot for a team. Having spent a lot of time here, do you have any thoughts on Nashville as a potential Major League Baseball market?
Oh, I hope it happens. I've been in this city now going on 3 years, and what a wonderful city area. I'm south of here a little bit, but I think it's certainly prime to get a major league team. As football, as hockey, I've been to both. It's growing. It's an exciting city. I think all the people I know that are here, they're having a great time. You know, after the meetings, getting out, having dinners, and you know, going to various places, listening to music, things like that. There's a lot of action in this city. So, yeah, I think it's prime, and I'm certainly hoping it happens.
Feeling about winning a World Series again 9 years after you won it 3 years ago. I think that's pretty unparalleled in baseball history.
9 years after the last one?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, Barry, I got back in to get to the postseason, win a World Series. Now, for it to happen the first year, it's amazing what those guys did. And you know, for this to happen, it really turned a dream into reality right away, and that was some kind of ride. And you know, it's all again what the players did out there, and a tremendous ride that I certainly enjoyed, and so I'm thankful. I'm blessed. I know that we come in such a great situation with the ownership and of course the front office, CY, and such a great group of guys that just had so much determination, so much heart, and were so unselfish, and just will not give up trying to win the World Series. And so it's quite a year. You know, for me personally, I look back at what those guys did. I'm amazed.
So you got 4 World Series. Do you think about the names that you're with?
I don't. No, I was just talking to Tony La Russa, and he was talking about it. And when you hear it from somebody like Tony, you know, it certainly, means a lot, obviously, but I'll never stop saying how lucky and blessed I am to be doing this as long as I've been doing it, and where I've done it, and the people I have had playing for me, the people I've been working for, ownership, things like that. So, you know, it's pretty, you know, fortunate for me to be in such a great situation here.
Coach, talking to Saves about this recently, they say that your experience level of being through so many of these situations over and over again is one of the reasons that you're as good as what you do. You give a lot of credit to the players, which is justifiable, but how much of being through all this and being able to use the players in the correct place for them to succeed is a part of it.
Well, I'll say this, Barry. I think with anything you do, you guys writing, whatever work you're in, you know, the more you do it, the more reps, hopefully you get a little better at what you do. And I'm still trying to get better, trust me. I don't think I have arrived, but that's, you know, that certainly helps me with my decision making. I think when you can draw on past experiences, not just in major leagues, in minor leagues. You know, I remember going back to those playoffs. I was nervous in those playoffs, and you try to draw on those times and experiences that you have down there. So, same with the players. You know, the more they get in there, the better they perform. Because a big part of our game, sure, you have to have the talent toughness, but you got to have that emotional control, and that's performing under pressure. And And I think that can apply for managers too.
Hey, how hard is it to repeat?
How hard? I don't know how to quantify that, but it's really difficult. I'll say that. It's hard to win one time, so to repeat, yeah, it's really difficult.
Is there anything like from your experience that you could kind of give to CY or give to Mike or give to your club about as hard as we think it is to repeat, it's even harder? Is there anything that stands out from your experience?
Yeah, we've talked a little bit about it. Part of it, the biggest part. There's two important elements in this. One is stay healthy. That's always a big part. Keep your guys healthy. With this core that we have, we certainly feel like we should get to the postseason. Now, when you get to the postseason, you got a shot at doing it. And so, to me, that's probably as important as anything. The other one is staying hungry. You gotta want it. You can't get complacent. You gotta want it, and so that's the second, I think, big element.
How important is this season for Carter, having 2 months of experience in the leagues now, going into this winter and preparing for spring training, having a taste of what it's like playing?
You talking about Evan?
Yeah.
I missed the question part. I'm sorry.
Sorry, just how important is it this offseason?
Oh.
Now that he's had reps, he kind of knows what the expectations are.
You know what? When a guy gets a chance to play in the major leagues and, of course, in the postseason, he has an idea what it's about. The unknown factor's out now, and he knows he can play in the major leagues. He's shown that. Once you do it, you can do it again. So, that's not there for him as he goes in spring training. He has that experience and knows what it's like to play in the major leagues, the kind of pitching that he's going to have to handle and the defense he has to play and things like that. So he'll go in spring training with that much more confidence.
Given how well Coors and Leclerc performed in the postseason, how confident are you in their ability to carry that into next year?
Really, really confident. That saved us, with those two finding their game at the right time. We've talked numerous times about Hosey starting the season. He wasn't quite healthy, and got healthy and was throwing the ball away. He normally throws the ball. Velocity, the slider, change up, everything. Sportsy got derailed a couple times, and he bounced back. And then, of course, what he did in that postseason was like the run he had during the season, and was locked in with his command of all his pitches. So, yeah, I fully expect them to come in spring training and be those guys that we had at the end and have that much more confidence. They did it. They did it during the season, but now to do it and throw like that during the postseason, that's even raises their confidence that much more.
One more, and then we got a big way for the next game.
Boch, CY said that he fully expects this roster to be better, that the team should be better next year, at least in the regular season, wins-wise. Do you feel the same way? Like there's a lot of wins left off the board?
I agree, sure. I think you look at our season, we let some wins get away. We got a little bumpy there with the bullpen, trying to get that in order. That was a challenge. And now we got, Carter. We got some pieces to add, though, to complete, the club here. But I fully agree, and that's how we got to feel.
Okay, thank you. Good.
Thanks, Coach.